I want to share something with you that I wanted to share for a very long time. And Steve just gave me the excuse to share it. and and what I'm going to share will make sense of what is happening to him, why he's doing that, and what I think about what he was doing, and what has been happening to me, and hopefully it will give like a deeper understanding to make sense of all of this audio persuasion, and when we pursue gear, and when we arrive to a point that we consider as end game, what happens when you have reached the goal? Because I would say almost every audiophile, 99.9%, are on the road to get to their end game systems, and you have that kind of desire, addiction working in you to just get there, get to that goal, and most people never get there, and uh, and it's a constant ache, constant problem, and you're trying to find ways how you can put more money into the pot to make it happen, and you are constantly unhappy. You have a few moments when you enjoy music, enjoy listening to music, but most of the time you are stuck listening to the system and thinking about gear. And the end game is what people think end game is, like getting something like, let's say, like a Magico or a audio note level 5 system, or getting the biggest Wilson speakers with the biggest Dan D'Agostino amplifier, something like that, where you put like $1 million, like 6 zeros after a number. That's the end game. But no, that's that's just the marketing end game. Going about 6 figures in price. That's the marketing end game. The actual end game is when you have a system where you don't think about the system anymore. All you think about is music. You put on something and you think about Chopin only. When you play Chopin, you only think about Chopin, and those things that Chopin music will take you to. If it takes you to like a nice stroll in Poland, like to your memories about a coffee shop, or like a day out in the sun or something like that, or what happened to you when you were like 25, or your hopes what will happen to you when you will be 25, something like this. When it sets you down on memory lane, helps you to make sense of your life, these types of things, that's what music is for. And that's what an endgame audio system that allows you to get to into your heart, to find your way home. And the thing is that when people reach that stage, that's when you realize that the gear doesn't matter anymore, because it's just a gimmick, it's just a trick that tricks your brain, that makes your mind and your heart to make a connection between the two. It's just an aid, kind of like sticking on a band-aid, or like getting a badge and putting it on. And once you have the badge, then you don't need that music system anymore. Once you figure out a way, once you have trained yourself to make that connection between your mind and your heart, then you can do that with any system. And that's why a lot of people, once they get their endgame system, like a really extravagant, it's just like kind of what most people just want to experience and listen to, and beyond that they are fine listening to a Walkman, or just like or like what Steve is doing here. He just sold all his gear, and now he's just, what he's doing is just trying to piece together a system that sounds like that at 20% of the cost, what that previous system costed him. So he is now making a new challenge, is that he doesn't want to reach endgame. That was his goal. He reached it, and in this video he talks about it, that it's been a journey for him to reach from audio gear to music, and now he made that journey, and along with the other journey of making the gear journey. So the gear journey is reaching your end game, and the growing up journey is like maturing enough so that music is the important thing for you and not the gear on which you play. And as reality works, these two things work hand in hand. So when you work out how the gear works, that will help you tremendously just to settle down and listen, focus on music. And for me the same thing is true. I think I have reached my end game 20 years ago, when I had my darling amp, actually not this exact one, but its twin. Well, right now it's modified from that point, but how it was 20 years ago, and my void pipe, and that system, and my modified Rega P3 and modified Micro Mega CD player, all silver wired, including every power cord, every internal wiring. That was an endgame system already, and I really had no additional desire to get something better, because it was the best experience that it could offer, that I heard from any stereo system. But that's kind of like doesn't make any sense, because you can take any aspect. Have I heard any stereo system that had better dynamics? Yes. Had I heard any that had deeper bass extension? Yes. Anything that had more transparent high frequencies between 15 and 18 kilohertz? Yes. And my answer is yes to everything. But did I experience anything else that brought everything that needs to turn me on, to plug my heart, my brain into my heart? Have I met anything that does such a good job like that? No. And that's why this is a journey for all of us, finding your end game. My end game is not your end game. Your job is to figure out your end game. And I think why I can help you is because what I noticed is that through commercial means you can't really reach your end game. There are some methods, like for example companies like AudioNote, they are doing systems matching. So if you stick to within AudioNote and you like that kind of sound and it does work in your room, then yes, you can go that way, provided you are a millionaire. If you are not, then that road is not open to you. And or if you don't like the AudioNote sound, you want something else, then it's not open. And then it's a total wild card. You are fending, off the wolves if you want to get an integrated system in any other commercial components. So what I wanted to say something, but that's it. So the way I make my videos is I have an idea, sit down, turn on recording, and then I talk about it. And at this point, I really had extremely little sleep this night, so it just evaporated. Where did I start from? Okay. So basically what Steve was doing here is that he sold his gear and he's perfectly happy with it. And now he's finding that at 20% of what his previous system cost, now he has something that is linking him to his heart and making him as deep experiences as what he experienced with a much more expensive system. And often, and also he mentioned that he just needed to recover some of the money he put on the audio, and that's a huge warning for everyone, is that now you might be able to afford something, but maybe you will reach some harder times, and you will need to, you know, rearrange your financial priorities. And and even if you manage to put together an end game system, you might be forced to sell it, and you have to start again, finding a different road, something that costs a fraction what it costed but still gets you there. And one thing, how what the difference it is once you reach the end game, is that after you reached your end game, now you are clear what turns you on, what makes that connection between your heart and your mind, and you will find gear much more easily. You will be able to build system synergy much more efficiently. Before, you had no idea what to do, and you had random occurrences, but you did not understand why I got this speaker and it worked fantastic, and there's this other one should better bass, better dynamics, and it just destroyed the sound. What happened? Once you had the epiphany of getting to the end of the road, now you understand what are those aspects that facilitate your connection to the music, and which are the ones that block your connection to the music. And this is 100% a personal journey, and this is up to you 100%. You have to get to know your stuff, to know what is doing it. What I'm sharing with my channel is what were those criteria that did these switches, mental switches for me, and why I am giving recommendations, like why my Lagrands have active cabinets versus just using thick wood, is because that activeness is part of that soup, of that secret sauce, that when I match it to the rest of the components, the whole system together has an exponentially more powerful ability to just connect here and there. And what you see now in this room, I have Lagrand and I have the Darling amp, which is barely more than half a watt per channel, and it can, and I'm running it from the computer, so just streaming stuff from YouTube, not even high-res files, through my little USB deck, and it's wonderful, and I love it. I listen to it a lot, and have I stopped listening to my main system? No, not at all. But I don't spend my whole life living in my living room, so it's great to have other systems as well. Also, it's variety, differences. So when you listen to music on different systems, it's not just one is better than the other, but there are different perspectives. It's kind of listening to your favorite song from two different singers. And of course, if you know, you are listening to, you know, one of Puccini's operas from Maria Callas, it will be a revelation. But you know, listening, but you won't even understand it if you don't hear those same areas from, let's say, like a third year students singing those songs, who are just want to be, you know, opera singers. They are just studying for it. So like, just getting the contrast, getting the different shades, different aspects, it really helps all of us to deepen our appreciation to music, because music is at the center, not the audio gear. And that my challenge for you is that if you have your end game system, or even if you are getting close to your end game, figure out what is blocking you from appreciating music on systems that are maybe far away from that end game. What's happening there? Why are you not happy? Because it's not the audio gear. I guarantee it. It's in you. It's something in your head that's blocking you. And one thing that prompted me doing this video was Steve's video, that once he got to his endgame system, now he's free to experiment with more basic systems, and he's enjoying that. And for those of you who are on your road towards your end game, this should be really the biggest lesson, is that please, even if you think you are on the road, on the way towards your dream, spend time to enjoy it now. Because it is, even if you think it's compromised, it has weaknesses, it's not perfect, perfection is total BS, there's no such thing ever. Even if you reach your end game system, it is not perfect. And if you think it is, just invite me and I will tell you 10 reasons why it's not perfect. But anyway, I'm joking, but I'm not joking either. So if you there's no perfect system, and what is important is that you should understand how to be happy with what you have right now, and just enjoy the music, enjoy what you have, because that's part of the road and part of your journey. And it's up to you. How's your journey? Is it a misery, looking forward to something that might never come, or do you want to enjoy the road? So excuse me, I think I'm speaking too much. I need to drink something. Have an amazing day, amazing audio journey, and please buy me a coffee if you would like to. Anyway, it's no pressure, but if you really want to, and there's nothing to stop you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.